Hello everyone, welcome to GT Boxing. In boxing, there's an old saying, the heavier the weight, the harder the punch. Size almost always dictates style, rhythm, and even the psychology of a fight. But history has proven time and time again, size alone doesn't guarantee victory. Sure, you can have long arms, massive strength, and crushing physical pressure. But if you're standing across from someone with boxing genius, talent, and refined technique, that often makes all the difference. Today we'll look back at 5 classic fights that proved weight isn't everything. And then we'll draw a parallel to a potential clash between Saul Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, where the same question arises. Will size decide the outcome, or will skill prevail? Before we begin, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot. Thank you. Now let's get started. Let's begin with a classic. November 13th, 2010, Cowboys Stadium in Texas. Over 41,000 fans in attendance. Manny Pacquiao versus Antonio Margarito. On paper, this fight looked like madness. The Filipino, who once fought at flyweight, was stepping into the ring against a true giant of the welterweight and junior middleweight divisions. The difference in height? 7 inches. Reach? Nearly 8 inches in Margarito's favor. On fight night, the Mexican weighed over 165 pounds, while Pacquiao barely touched 147 at the weigh-in. By all logic, this was a mismatch, but the fight told a completely different story. From the opening bell, Manny switched on his trademark speed. His attacks were lightning quick, his combinations like bursts of gunfire. Margarito, meanwhile, looked like a slow-moving giant, unable to trap his elusive opponent. By the 9th round, Pacquiao's dominance was overwhelming. By the end, Margarito's face was shattered, a fractured orbital bone, swollen shut eye. After the fight, Pacquiao famously said, "I could feel his power, but he just couldn't keep up with me." That night became textbook proof. Speed, timing, and ring IQ can dismantle size and brute force. Now let's jump to 2013. Las Vegas, MGM Grand, one of the most high-profile fights of the decade, Canelo Alvarez versus Floyd Mayweather. Canelo was in his prime, powerful, young, and undefeated at just 23 years old, with a record of 42 and 0-30 knockouts. A true Mexican machine. Across from him stood 36-year-old Mayweather. No longer as fast as in his youth, but still undefeated and still a master of the craft. And going into this fight, many Mexican fans believed Canelo was the favorite. He was bigger, stronger, and fresher. But once the bell rang, fans witnessed a masterclass. Floyd, like a painter, controlled every round. His legendary Philly shell defense turned Canelo's power punches into wasted swings. Mayweather's counters landed clean, over and over. Most importantly, Floyd neutralized Canelo's biggest weapon, his power. After the fight, Canelo admitted, "He made me look like something I had never been in the ring. I just couldn't find him." On paper, Floyd was smaller, older, physically weaker. But in reality, he was smarter, sharper, and cooler under pressure. Fast forward to June 2021, Atlanta, State Farm Arena. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Mario Barrios. By then, Tank was already a star at lightweight, but he decided to jump up 2 divisions to junior welterweight. His opponent, Barrios, looked like a giant. Tall, long reach, accustomed to the power at 140 pounds. Even Tank's promoter, Floyd Mayweather, warned him in the locker room. "Be careful, he's big." But Gervonta answered, "I don't care how big he is. I know I can break him." And the fight turned out to be spectacular. Early on, Barrios used his jab and reach to good effect, keeping Tank at distance. But by the middle rounds, it was clear Davis had found the key. His explosive power, his ability to slip under punches, and his sudden bursts of combinations changed the fight. In the 11th round, Barrios hit the canvas after a brutal barrage, and the fight was stopped. Tank had proven, size can be overcome when you know how to dismantle it. Now, let's go back to a historic night. March 1st, 2003, Las Vegas. Roy Jones Jr., at the time considered the best pound-for-pound boxer in the world, decided to jump all the way up to heavyweight. And not just for any fight. He challenged John Ruiz for the WBA world title. The weight gap? Almost 45 pounds. Ruiz was a true heavyweight, known for his clinching, pressure, and rough tactics. Everyone asked, is Roy out of his mind? But that night became one of the most impressive moments of Jones's career. He stepped in against the much bigger man and made him look helpless. His speed, footwork, counters, and angles completely disarmed Ruiz. By the end, Ruiz looked like a shell, unable to process what was happening. Jones made history, becoming the first fighter to rise from light heavyweight and capture a heavyweight world title. After the fight, Roy said, "I showed that if you've got talent, you can beat anybody." And finally, the freshest memory. May 2024, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury. The fight for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Once again, it looked like David versus Goliath. Usyk, a former cruiserweight champion, a man who started his career as a light heavyweight. Fury, a towering 6 feet 9 inches, weighing nearly 270 pounds. On the scales, there was a difference of more than 45 pounds. Most doubters thought, this is too much. Yes, Usyk is talented, but against a giant like Fury? But the Ukrainian showed that technique and intelligence in boxing can outweigh even the largest size advantage. His work on the inside, his angles, his concentration, and his ability to find openings in Fury's defense turned the fight into a masterpiece. In the 9th round, Usyk nearly finished it. Fury barely survived, but the judges awarded a clear victory to Usyk. It was a historic moment. The man who once reigned at cruiserweight defeated the Gypsy King at heavyweight and became a 2-time undisputed champion. All these examples prove one thing: skill, IQ, speed, and discipline can beat size and strength. That doesn't mean size doesn't matter. It does. But it has never been, and never will be, the decisive factor in boxing. The true key is using your strengths while neutralizing your opponents. And so, we come back to the question on every fan's mind. What happens if Canelo and Crawford actually meet in the ring? At first glance, the answer seems obvious. Canelo is bigger, heavier, used to taking shots from light heavyweights. Crawford has never fought above 154 pounds. But wasn't the same said about Pacquiao? About Jones? About Usyk? History teaches us that the number on the scale is less important than the ability to think, adapt, and control the fight. Crawford is one of the most versatile fighters of this era. He's equally effective in both stances, he reads opponents, and he can change strategies mid-fight. His ring IQ and technical skill are exactly the tools needed to neutralize Canelo's size. And if this fight happens, weight will matter. But it won't be the deciding factor. Boxing is chess with fists, and the winner is always the one who understands the game better. So what do you think? Does Crawford have the technical ability to shock the world and beat the superstar Canelo? Share your thoughts in the comments below. That's all for now. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next exclusive videos. See you next time.